Welcome everybody, my name is Anil Kumar. Welcome to this Read and Lead series of videos. Today we are talking about Servant Leader by Robert, unleashing the power of your people, growing your own leadership qualities and identifying core values. Servant Leader, Robert. Leaders are made, not born. This is a basic premise of this session. A free market society requires an atmosphere of trust. When public loses faith, the government will react, introducing regulations. The goals of the business must be to reach beyond the pursuit of profit and include contributing to the social well-being. That is why today we need servant leaders. Servant leaders means the purpose of the existence of the company is to serve the community, serve the society, serve the customers, serve the people, the employees, the stakeholders. Servant leaders use their power to benefit the people they lead. Leaders are made. They consciously make the decisions. They choose to be leader. It is not that it is a position, but it is a mission. It's a calling. The foundation of leadership is integrity. It inspires trust. Trust your managers and they will trust you. Trust your employees and they will trust you. Successful leaders are accessible. Servant leaders should be decisive, effective. Most of all, they should have the stamina to serve the multiple stakeholders. Servant leaders are good managers who can think both functionally, tactically, and strategically. To facilitate change, servant leaders need to communicate well with all the affected parties and have a positive attitude. Servant leaders have to train the next generation of leaders to make the company fit for the future. Empower your subordinates to make decisions, set the expectations and evaluate the performance. When you listen to others and serve them, they will follow you, they will listen to you. Business leaders focus on short-term deal making today because profit is the motive of the corporate. But this will cause you to divert your attention from providing quality of goods, quality of services, quality of employment, quality of relationship. Superstar CEOs get press attention, unjustified compensation, but this will make you move far from the people and the organization. You will be living in an island. Today another problem is business leaders do not appreciate the work of their subordinates. However small your team may be, however big or small you in an organization, unless you appreciate your team, unless you recognize that it is a team that brings in the benefit, you will not stand a chance to sustain. Leaders lack core values, resulting in scandals in every sector of public life. These are some of the reasons resulted from a survey on why there is a long-term decline in today's corporates. Profit is not the primary motive. Service is a motive. Perhaps the highest art in leadership is to balance the head and heart. But today, the heart is given a second place. Head is a seat of analysis and logic. But heart is the seat of feeling and compassion. How do we have the balance? How do we find the balance? Whether you are trying to win a contract, a football game or a war, the basics of leadership are the same. Put people first. Be a one having a service mentality. As a leader, articulate your mission. Exemplify the goals that you want the team to achieve. Inspire and invigorate your subordinates so that they feel fired up to work for the organization and get the goal. Leaders determine the course of action of their organizations. They set the policy, while the managers implement those policies on a daily basis. Leaders are the one who work out the strategy. Leaders must be able to translate creative ideas into practical realities. For this, you need communicative skills, negotiation skills, convincing skills. For that, people should understand you. For that, you as a leader should understand the people, the team. As a leader, you have to articulate and exemplify the statements. Gains are for the team, losses are for the coach. That is what we should always remember. So, the servant leader should help the team grow and increase their capacity to contribute. While you set the goal, you have to persuade others to follow your diktats so that everybody reaches the goal set. The decision to focus on how you can benefit others will keep your ego from getting too large. So you should make a decision. It should be a determined, dedicated, devoted decision. It should be a conscious decision to keep your ego under control by always thinking how you can be of help to others as a leader and as a firm. How you respond to others influences how they think you are. How you respond to others influences how they respond to your leadership. People will work together cooperatively. People will collaborate. People will be productive and effective. And people will be humane if there is an environment of trust. In a trustful environment, people will be willing to pledge everything that they have for the benefit of the group as a whole. So in your relationships, as a leader, you have to demonstrate not that you have intelligence, but that you are open. When people are having dissenting opinions and loyalty is keeping on shifting, whether you agree or not, you have to be open to the ideas. You have to be open to the arguments. The support of your peers and subordinates is crucial for your success. For this, open-mindedness is what matters. As you serve others, as you invest in building confidence, as you have more trust in them, it will boost their confidence in you. It will boost your leadership capability. Leadership is reciprocal. Responsibilities of a leadership. What are responsibilities of a leadership? Defining the organization's mission and devising a plan to implement it. That is the most important responsibility. You need to decide what is the strategy and how we are going to achieve it. Once we have a detailed plan, the procedures, the steps to be followed, the managers will implement it on a daily basis. Staying on top of day-to-day issues. Staying on top of day-to-day issues. Pushing for greater efficiency and productivity. Developing the process. Including the team to contribute to the preparation of the plan and implementation will build their leadership skills. It's a sort of delegation to take your time away. It's a sort of way to give them opportunities to have confidence and trust in you. It's a way by which you will grow future leaders. So, involve your team. Make timely decisions. Establish goals. Set performance standards. Ask the people to give their best shot. Act as an ambassador for your organization. Don't just push around. As you set high expectations, remember that they won't be able to perform unless you provide them the tools, the training, the techniques, the methods. That means the resources. While you set the goals, you need to provide the resources. Refrain from micromanaging. Leave it to them how they want to achieve their goal. Lead through the chain of command. Don't bypass and overstep. Your actions should generate pride and respect from your staff. Your actions should generate happiness, comfort, and feeling of value for your staff. You need to continuously ask for feedback and evaluate performance, or else you will not know whether people are getting close to your goal. For that, you need to acknowledge good work. You need to reward and recognize, and you are to provide the tools and trainings and timely interventions. That is very important. Asking at the end of the year what went wrong is not enough. Periodically, you have to provide timely interventions. These are the responsibilities of the leadership. How do we lead by example? That's the hardest part, because demanding high performance is easy. But we need to set an example so that people will follow the leader. Your peers, subordinates, everybody will measure you and your overall competence as a leader. In a simple terms, what? They will see how you have demonstrated success. So your demonstrable actions is what will serve as a measure for others to decide whether to trust you, whether to follow you. Force yourself to concentrate on high priority tasks. Focus the right things. Put first things first. Prioritize. Declutter. Brush aside the useless things. Either you delegate or you delete or you defer. Retain focus in the midst of interruptions and uncertainties. You need to have focus. One, to do only important things, only the high priority things, only things that take you closer to your goal. And another, in spite of interruptions, disturbances, uncertainties, day-to-day firefighting, day-to-day issues, you need to retain your focus on your long-term strategy and long-term goal. As a leader, this is the way you lead by example. Your ability to lead may hinge on other people's perceptions. Why? Because how they perceive you as a leader. Is there a demonstrable success that you show to them? What are your actions? So you must not just be good, but make sure that people perceive you as a good leader. You should be able to return to the state of intense concentration, return to the state of intense concentration on what is to be done after every interruption or disruption that you have on your daily leadership life. Handle pressure, and you must manage your emotions, talent and time. Managing emotions includes whether to get angry to the right extent, to the right person at the right time, and then your emotions, your feelings, your talent, where to focus, your time, where to spend. One needs to know. So you have to get back to your state of intense concentration after every interruption and disruption by forcing yourself to concentrate on high priority tasks and retaining the focus in the midst of chaos. Carve out the time that you need to think. Carve out the time for sharpening the saw. Wait for a moment before you react. Don't wait for the moment to present itself. Act proactively. These are the ways in which you can lead by example. You need to have the voice of experience. For this, your experience should be available to your team, and you should be willing to depend the experience of the team. So accessibility is very important. Be in the good books of everybody, the peers, the subordinates, the competitors, the superiors. Simplify things. Make yourself available as a servant leader. Don't hide behind the desk and listen. Listen attentively. In your actions, demonstrate selflessness. It should be total commitment to the team, total commitment to the organization, total commitment to the customer. Project a sense of fairness. Project a sense of fairness. Trust begets trust. Unless you trust them, you will not be able to influence the team. Project authenticity, consistency, and a sense of inner calm. To unleash the power, what we need to do is rise above the pettiness and avoid arrogance. Remain true to your values. Simplify. Simplify. By looking at the voice of experience, leaders should be inspiring. Leaders should bring in confidence in themselves and the team. Leaders should be decisive. That is, you should be able to make decisions, and you should be driven, self-motivated. But most importantly, you should have the stamina. In spite of the crisis, interruptions, disruptions, you should have the stamina to keep going, to keep concentrated, to be after your main goal. The capacity to endure continuously under pressure, relentlessly work. Leaders provide the vision, create the positive attitude. There is an organizational sense of courage to make the changes. But all this is not enough. Solid managerial attention, skills, and follow to organize the pieces is more important. What is important? The skills to follow up and organize the pieces. Organize the different pieces of work that different teams do and bring it into and blend it into the organizational objective. That is very important. Communication and flexibility is another important thing that a servant leader should do to unleash the power. Good leaders gather information from disparate sources, different sources, diverse sources, and synthesize it into a comprehensive strategy. Good leaders are excellent in communication, oral and written. For communication, it is intent listening, active listening, developing an accurate understanding of the people's needs, expectations, feelings, emotions, body language, and then responding appropriately, pausing before responding, developing a positive attitude about change. Unless you look positively towards a change, you will not be able to win the hearts of others for that change. Build trust through transparency. Let them know what you are trying to do, the whys and the hows. The free flow of information will help cross-pollination of ideas, will help to build trust, will bring in confidence. And this free flow of information due to transparency will foster cooperation, collaboration, coordination. The sense of purpose, where you're going, what you're doing, what is expected of you. This instills a drive in the employees, the spark that is necessary to get the change implemented. Listen. If you listen, you will gain their confidence. If you gain your confidence, they will trust your decisions. And then the team will feel safe giving you accurate, timely information. So listen. Remain flexible in the responses. Do not react or respond immediately. Look at the ever-changing business landscape and pause before you react or respond. Listen to everybody. but pause before you respond. You must assess your abilities, your strengths, your weaknesses, and then you have to respond or react. There are multiple leadership styles. You have to seek out the experienced people as mentors. Learn from everybody, but have your own style. Styles differ from individual to individual, varies as per environment, as per situation. You can learn from the leaders their styles, but you cannot just imitate or copy them. It doesn't happen that way because they have a different DNA. You need to have your own unique style. It will come from within you. It would definitely be a blend of all the things that you have gone through, what you have read, what you know, what you have faced, what you have learned, what you have seen. But it will be unique to you. Develop the courage to act with grace without hesitation. That means, in spite of hurdles, eat that frog, get that done. Develop the courage to act with grace without hesitation. Leaders are calm and calculating. Some leaders focus on productivity. Some leaders look at the people. Some leaders take undue risks. But the unwavering strength to do what you believe in is the most important thing, because there is competition out there. There is interruption and disruption out there. There is chaos out there. So the unwavering strength to do what you believe in, to act with grace without hesitation, that courage is what is the most important thing of your leadership style that is required. Analyze the leadership styles, the attitude towards change, the delegation of authority, the use of authority, how you manage the stress, how you make decisions, what procedures are you following, and the personal and organizational expectations and the way you blend it. These are the things in a leader that will tell you whether you will be able to unleash the power of your team. How a leader copes with change determines to a great extent how the organization will cope with change, and in turn what the team is going to do. So how a leader copes with change influences both the organization and the team, and in turn affects the customers. To what extent does a leader be involved in making decisions? Are you allowing others to make decisions? Are you taking their feedback? Is it a participative situation? Are you initiating action within the organization? So that delegation, the decision making, and then the authority. Good leaders wield power to benefit their organization and employees. If you have the power, how do you use it? How do you use it? When do you use it? Where do you use it? Then stress management is nothing but serenity. In spite of fire, in spite of disruption, chaos and interruptions, how calm you are, how easily you are coming back to focus on the things that matter. The decision making procedure is the way the leader presents a decision to others and inspire people to proceed with their work. Whether the leader is able to bring in comfort and not fear to the team. The team should feel comfort in doing things, not doing it because they are afraid of and fear is instilled by the leader. Most importantly, the pace at which the organization develops, the pace at which the organization responds to the changes in the environment, the pace at which the organization sets up the performance standards, the way in which the organization evaluates the results, whether we are giving the tools, whether we are giving a continuous feedback, whether we are giving a fair criticism, whether we are having the realistic and achievable goals for the team and rewarding and recognizing them for achieving it will matter a lot as a leadership skill, so that the team will know where to take the organization and why. The characteristic of a successful leader is the ability to lead through others. You develop more leaders. As a servant leader, you help others to lead. As a servant leader, you serve them so that they achieve their goals and in turn the organization achieve their goals. As a servant leader, you delegate the decision making authority to sub leaders and you serve them implement their decisions. As a servant leader, you coach and train them. What we need is a participatory management style. You ask ideas from everybody. You ask them to decide. You ask them why they want to do certain things and how they would reach the organizational objective. Let it be their idea. Let it be their way of implementing. Only the strategic goal should come from the top. A servant leader should empower everyone in the organization. The firm should have a culture of building trust and confidence. The company should teach the leaders how to teach others. The company should teach the leaders how to train and grow new leaders at every level, so that you have a succession plan and you have a sustainable leadership chain. Delegating authority means putting knowledge into action. Delegating authority means using the experiences of oneself and that of the team. You need to add wisdom, and that will happen if you are allowing them to act. Let them do. A realistic assessment will give them a proper feedback about their strengths and weaknesses, what they have to change, and how they can do a course correction so that their goals and organizational goals are in blend. Their actions are taking them as well as the organization towards its long-term objectives. So, the organization should determine which responsibilities to give to whom. The leader should determine what he should give up and what he should keep. Delegating authority. Adapting ideas for practical use is a basic leadership skill. So everybody has ideas, everybody brings in new ideas, but how do we adapt it to a situation for the current organization for the long-term benefit? For this, you need to listen to a lot of sources. What are the ideas? How people implemented? What are the plus and minus? And then how to practically make use for our organization. Look for personal growth opportunities to ward off stagnation. The leader should be willing to grow himself and move out so that the others that he trained can take his position. To be viable and competitive in any circumstance, the leader should pick up the baton at various levels and then let people form a continuous chain of growing levels of leaders. For this, the leader has to challenge himself, set expectations for the leadership candidates, review their progress, mentor them, coach them, ask them what they want, ask them which tools and techniques will help them, ask them why they go wrong, where they go wrong, challenge them with projects that require them to build upon their strength. The more you have leaders to lead, the more better it is and easy it is for your organization to reach its goals. So the takeaways are: use your power to benefit the people. Leaders are made, so you make a conscious decision to be a leader. What you need is integrity, trust, and others should have confidence in you. Your demonstrable success is what people will perceive you as a leader or will allow you to influence their decisions. You should be accessible, decisive, and effective. Think tactically and strategically. Have a good communication skill. Have a positive attitude towards change. Train the next generation leader, coach them, delegate to them, allow them to do, help them and ask them questions what help they want. Be a servant leader. Empower your subordinates to act. Set expectations and evaluate performance. How they do what they do, don't micromanage. Delegate. And when you listen and serve, they will follow you. Thanks for listening to this video. We were talking about unleashing the power of your people by being a servant leader by Robert.